All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of World with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow, and remember, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very inspirational guest for you. Let me give you a couple of words about my guest. Inspirational, as I just said, motivation, introspection, author, all the way from Toronto. Give it up for Mr. Kam Salami. How are you?
Yeah. TY, thanks for having me on your show, man. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to be on your show and kind of go over a little bit about the book and find out, give the viewers a bit more information about what the book's about and everything else.
All right. Okay. Well, man, let's just dive right in if you don't mind. Okay.
Sure.
So the name of your book is called The Sleeping Giant. Can you just tell us a little bit more about it and where can we possibly purchase this book?
Yeah, no problem. So the name of the book is The Sleeping Giant, and what it really comes from, it's a book about spirituality. It's a book about meditation, and it's really a book about finding the giant within yourself. And that's why usually, it's called Sleeping Giant. It's about waking up the inner giant within you. So that's one thing about the book that the title's about. But the book can be purchased on Barnes & Nobles. It can be purchased on eBay. It can be purchased on Amazon. It's readily available. And I'm currently working on getting the audiobook as well for those that don't like reading too much.
Okay.
So I know we're kind of moving in a fast-paced world. So not everybody wants to read a book and spends 2-3 hours reading. So I'm also making the audiobook available very soon.
Well, see, there you go, folks. He's making it available for you too. So, for those of you who don't like to sit there with the book all day, just press a button and they'll do all the talking for you. All right, there you go. All right. So let's talk a little bit more. Like, what motivated you to write this book and what events led up to you writing this?
Yeah, right on. So just to give you a quick background, I traveled all the way to China and I lived in a mountain. And I was one of the only North Americans that stepped foot in this temple. Wow. And it's a Buddhist temple out in China. And I was very privileged enough and I was very fortunate enough to go there. And in this temple, there's these monks, and these monks have never stepped outside of this temple. And some of them are orphans that are brought there when they're young, and they spent their whole entire lives living in this temple. It's fully self-generating. They have their own plants outside where they grow their own food. They have wells where they draw water from. So it's a little community, and it's separate from the whole entire world. They don't have internet. They don't have television, nothing like that. So I was fortunate to spend 3-4 months out there with them and meditate every single day. And what really led me there was I had some little inner conflict. I was battling PTSD at one point in my life, and I was going through a little bit of thing change, and I wanted to kind of go there and find myself, and I did. And the inspiration that made me write this book was, I was meditating one day and I said, all the lessons that I spent in the last 4 months, I want to kind of condense it into a book to let anybody who doesn't know anything about spirituality, doesn't know anything about reading, doesn't know anything about sitting there and reading about spirituality and what it really is about. Not a lot of people have the opportunity to spend 3-4 months to go travel to live in China and learn about it. So I put it all in a book for everybody to read.
Okay. Well, you know what? That leads me to my next question, because I'm so glad that, you can go and find that inner peace and just, have that, as I said before, introspection, to figure out what it is, the path you need to go down or you want to go down to, basically take the next steps in life. So I'm going to ask you, with everything going on now in the world, we have a world pandemic. People are losing loved ones. They're losing jobs. They're losing homes. There's a lot of anxiety in the world. There's a lot of, in certain parts of the world, there's still chaos going on. How can your book offer some insight to those who can use it during this time?
Right. That's a really good question, T.Y. And, I personally believe that emotions comes from within, and we have the ability to control our own emotions, yes. Whether they're good or bad. We have the ability to kind of tackle whatever challenges are put towards us. You know, let's say, for example, someone's, you know, losing their jobs. We have two ways of going about it. Obviously, you're going to get emotional. It's just natural. We're human beings. But through meditation and spirituality, it gives you the ability to kind of control those emotions and start getting clear-headed, getting a clear laser focus on what you need to do, right? You know, it's not a band-aid solution to any problem, but to have clarity of thought is one of the most important things that I feel like we need, especially times of uncertainty. So, I mean, this book allows you to read it. You learn to understand about meditation, spirituality, and like literally being still with your own, with yourself, which is one of the hardest things to do. I think that's one thing that I'm able to kind of give to people that are going through a lot of hardship, is to really get laser focus on what you want to do and how you, and you know, at the end of the day, some majority of these obstacles that we have are temporary, right? Nothing lasts forever. So, I mean, it's a pandemic, yes, and a lot of people are going through a lot of turmoil, but you know, you have to understand that in about 3-4 years from now, you're going to be back on your feet. You're going to be doing what you love to do. So you know, it's not definitely a band-aid solution to anything. It's just, you know, the book allows you to get a little bit of knowledge of sit, get clarity of focus on what you want to do, and I show you in the book on how to do that.
Okay, all right. Hey, you know what? We need that right about now. I mean, as I said before, with everything that's going on, especially here in the States, you know, with the government, you know, you have racism, classism, all these isms going on now, and really the world is on peak. So if we can find a way to like have the balance in ourselves to like, you know, make sure everything is, you know, going along the path, so be it. And I figure, you know, your book is going to, you know, be a key in that as well.
Right.
So let me ask you, you know, this year, enough can't be said about this year. You know, like we could name a whole bunch of things wrong with this year. I don't want to do that. I want to go in a totally different direction. So I'm going to ask you, how has 2020 had a positive effect on you, and what has 2020 brought you something positive?
Right. I think 2020 really like pushes everybody to their limits to find out like how far in a corner can I be pushed in order to kind of be able to tolerate. And one positive thing about 2020 that I learned is really family, you know. And for me, it's brought me closer to the people I care about most. You know, it's taken away a lot of other privileges that people have. Like for us in Canada, we can't go to the mall right now. Everything's closed down. Right. So, you know, the ability to kind of reach out to your loved ones and be like, hey, how you doing? Like, you want to get together for a coffee? I mean, we've gone back to things now where everyone's spending more quality time at home. That's one aspect that I learned in 2020, to really embrace, you know, family. I think for me, that's at the end of the day, you know, you can lose your job, you can lose whatever, but you're never going to lose your family.
That's true. That's true. You know what? Those are wise words. And you know what? I thank you for that. If people wanted to get in contact with you, you know, if they want, you know, to get more view, you know, your book and everything else, how can they?
You can reach out to me on Instagram, Kammy Life. That's my Instagram handle. I mean, I'm a music producer as well. I do that as well. So, I mean, I'm in my music studio right now.
I was going to say, I see you in the studio now. I see the background over there. Yeah.
I'm producing music. For me, music is part of my spirituality aspect of it. I mean, you can't live life without music, because, you know, it's a vibration. There's a lot of soul behind music, and
true.
And for me, it's like spirituality, music is all I care about. But yeah, you can reach out to me on Instagram anytime. You can hit me up with a DM. I'm always likely to respond. I have a pretty good follower base on Instagram, and I still reach out to everybody that DMs me. So, you know, hit me up on Instagram, Kammy Life. Right away, I'll respond back to you within 24 hours. So
there you go. All right. So, Mr. Kam Salami, I'm gonna tell you, we come to the end of the show. I have to ask you this question. This is the question my show is known for. What is the one word that best describes you, and why?
I would say perseverance. Perseverance would be one word for me. My family immigrated to Canada, and I didn't really have the opportunity to grow up I grew up in poverty my whole life, so for me, it's perseverance. It's, you know, I've had a lot of obstacles. I didn't have the best upbringing because, you know, we hardly had two dimes to rub to each other. But you know, just perseverance. It's just like, don't stop. You know, life's short, and just keep going. And you know, I think that's for me. That's all I care about: perseverance.
All right. Well, you know, as I said before, one of the words I used to describe you earlier was motivation. And I feel, you know, your book and your mission and, you know, especially your music, you know, that's motivating you to take yourself to another level, which will inspire those that you come in contact with. So, man, I thank you for being on the show.
No, I appreciate you, Ty. Thanks so much for having me on the show, man. And honestly, like, to anyone that's really trying to like understand meditation and spirituality, pick up the book, the Sleeping Giant. These lessons are really lessons taught to me by like some of the top monks, and I really broke down spirituality at the core level, what it is, what it's about, and you learn a lot about yourself as well. I promise you that.
All right, there you are, ladies and gentlemen. Now, man, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I've been your host, Ty Brownlow. You can follow me on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Word with Ty Brownlow. You can catch me on Twitter at Ty Brownlow TV, or just go to my website, tybrownlow.com. You can get this interview along with other great interviews. And once again, Mr. Kam Salami, I thank you. We out. Peace.